Good day and welcome to the MPTV's Weekend News Roundup. I am Lukman Adelakin. On this channel, I will bring you major stories, interesting headlines, and the news you can trust. We start with the headlines. Concerns as Shore reportedly collapses during Abuja protests. 258 evacuated Nigerians return from South Africa. Tinubu reaffirms commitment to security and national unity. Mourinho returns to Real Madrid on 3-year deal. Now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to remain united and support ongoing efforts to strengthen security and national cohesion across the country. In his Democracy Day nationwide podcast, the president assured citizens that Nigeria would overcome terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and other security challenges, warning criminal elements and their sponsors to surrender or face the full weight of the law. President Tinubu expressed concern over the abduction of the school children in Oyo and Borno states, while reaffirming his administration's commitment to securing their safe return. He also disclosed that the federal government has approved the recruitment of more than 50,000 police officers and thousands of military personnel to reinforce the nation's security architecture. The president further conferred national honors on pro-democracy activists and other distinguished Nigerians, stating that the next phase of his administration would focus on accelerating economic growth and expanding the dividends of democracy to all citizens.
Through violence, we have experienced the longest stretch of civilian rule in our history. By the abduction of our children in Oyo and Borno, we remain hopeful for their safe return. Democracy without security is not solid enough. That is why this administration has chosen both kinetic and non-kinetic strategies.
The House of Representatives has passed a constitutional amendment bill seeking to establish state police across Nigeria, marking a significant step in ongoing efforts to reform the country's security architecture. The 18-clause proposal scaled third reading during plenary after securing the support of 289 lawmakers, with one member abstaining from the vote. Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas, described the measure as a critical response to the nation's security challenges, while Deputy Speaker and Chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee, Benjamin Kalu, said decentralizing policing would bring law enforcement closer to the people. Lawmakers adopted a manual headcount voting process following the unavailability of the National Assembly's electronic voting system. The bill will now proceed to the Senate for consideration as part of the ongoing constitutional amendment. The Senate has nullified the arrest warrant issued against former Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, declaring the action inconsistent with Senate rules and procedures. The decision followed a point of order raised by Senate Leader Okoyemi Bamidele, who argued that the Senate Committee on Public Accounts lacked the authority to order the arrests of public officials. Several lawmakers backed the position, stressing that the NNPCL remains a critical national institution and should not be portrayed in a manner capable of undermining public confidence. Responding, Senator Adams Oshiomhole maintained that the focus should remain on the committee's investigation into allegations of unaccounted funds rather than comments made during the proceedings. Ruling on the matter, Senate President Godswill Akpabio directed that the warrant be set aside and assured lawmakers that the NNPCL would continue to perform its statutory responsibility. The federal government has commenced the evacuation of Nigerians affected by the renewed xenophobic violence in South Africa, with 258 citizens arriving in Lagos aboard a special evacuation flight. The APC aircraft landed at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport on Thursday morning, bringing home Nigerians displaced by the recent unrest. The evacuees were accompanied from Johannesburg by officials of the Nigerian mission, while the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Shola Enikaolaye, received them on behalf of the federal government. He conveyed President Bola Tinubu's assurance that the safety, welfare, and dignity of the Nigerians abroad remain a priority of the administration's foreign policy. The evacuation was coordinated by the Minister of Foreign Affairs in collaboration with relevant government agencies amid renewed concern over xenophobic attacks targeting foreign nationals in South Africa. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde says pupils and teachers abducted from schools in Owerri local government area are still believed to be within the wider Old Oyo National Park corridor as security agencies intensify rescue efforts. The governor disclosed that despite nearly 4 weeks in captivity, authorities remain focused on securing the safe return of victims and have continued coordinated operations in the area. Makinde acknowledged that the anxiety and pain being experienced by affected families and communities, assuring residents that government and security agencies will not relent until the abducted pupils and teachers regain their freedom. The victims were kidnapped during attacks on schools in the Yawuta and Aoye Shinle communities of Owerri local government area in May, an incident that sparked protests and calls for stronger security measures across the state. The governor has urged residents to remain calm and continue supporting ongoing efforts aimed at bringing the victims home safely. Abuja witnessed tense scenes on Friday as police operatives fired tear gas at Democracy Day protesters marching through the nation's capital. The demonstrators had gathered to demand action on worsening insecurity, economic hardship, and governance concerns before security personnel moved in to disperse the crowd. The protest procession, which reportedly moved from Berger Junction towards the Federal Secretariat and Eagle Square, was disrupted as tear gas canisters were fired at the protesters, causing panic and forcing many to flee. Human rights activist and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore was among those affected during the incident, fainting in the process. Protesters later regrouped and vowed to continue exercising their constitutional rights to peaceful assembly.
Can you move? Can you move? Can you move?
What are your business?
The Delta State Police Command has arrested 4 suspected members of a fraud syndicate and recovered 1,600 counterfeit United States dollar notes during a series of intelligence-led operations across the state. Police say operatives of the Special Anti-Kidnapping Unit tracked the suspects to Asaba, where they were arrested for allegedly defrauding members of the public with fake foreign currency. A subsequent raid on their hideout led to the recovery of the counterfeit dollar bills and military camouflage, while investigations continue to uncover other members of the network. In a separate operation, operatives of the Violent Crime Response Unit arrested 2 women in the Northeast local government area for alleged drug trafficking. The suspects were found in possession of various suspected illicit substances, including Colorado, cannabis, and Canadian loud. Commissioner of Police Yemi Oyeniyi commended the operatives and reaffirmed the command's commitment to sustaining intelligence-driven operations against criminal elements in the state. Our Federal High Court in Lagos has convicted 11 Indian sailors and their merchant vessel, MV Aruna Ulia, for importing more than 31 kilograms of cocaine into Nigeria through the Apapa seaport. The court imposed fines and restitution payments amounting to about $6 million following a plea bargain agreement reached between the defendant and the prosecution. According to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the cocaine consignment was discovered concealed in one of the vessel's apartments during an operation at the GDNL terminal in Apapa earlier this year. The court ordered the vessel to pay over $5 million in restitution to the federal government, while the ship's master and other crew members were also fined under the provisions of the NDLEA Act. Reacting to the judgment, NDLEA Chairman Mohammed Buba Marwa described the conviction as a strong warning to international drug trafficking networks, stressing that Nigeria will not serve as a safe transit route for illicit drugs. Hundreds of Nigerians have staged a peaceful march in Abuja to protest rising insecurity and call for greater national unity in the fight against terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping. The demonstrators, under the aegis of Concerned Nigerians for Peace, Security and National Unity, said addressing the country's security challenges requires the collective efforts of government, security agencies, and citizens. Participants in the rally urged Nigerians to set aside political, ethnic, and religious differences and support ongoing efforts aimed at restoring peace and stability across the country. The group also commended the sacrifices of military personnel, police officers, and other security operatives working to protect lives and property. They stressed that national unity remains critical to defeating criminal elements and ensuring latest peace and development in Nigeria. And on sports, Jose Mourinho has returned to Real Madrid as head coach after signing a 3-year contract with Spanish giants. The 63-year-old Portuguese manager is expected to officially resume duties when the team returns to preseason training on July 13th, marking his return to the Santiago Bernabeu 13 years after his first spell ended. Reports indicated that Real Madrid paid compensation to secure Mourinho's release and complete the deal. Mourinho previously managed the club between 2010 and 2013, leading the team to a La Liga title, the Copa del Rey, and the Supercopa España. His return is expected to usher in a new chapter for the European giants as they prepare for the upcoming season. That's all we have for you on the Weekend News Roundup on MPTV. I remain Lukman at Daylakin. Do well to follow us across all social media platforms, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure to stay updated as we bring you stories on a regular. Bye for now.